ఇదిగో ఇదిగో ఫోర్ ఇదిగో గవర్నమెంట్ ఇది వెనక జరుగు కొంచెం వెనక కూర్చోబెట్టు.
గదిలో ఉన్నాయి. కళ్ళు పెట్టుకుంటూ డ్రెస్సింగ్ టేబుల్ మీద పెట్టాలి. Number F1, Vijay, some of you are sharing the screen. Switch off your screen share.
Hello. Hello.
So good morning, all of you.
Good morning, madam.
Now, can you see the screen? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Let us start. So long back, almost 4-5 days back, we have discussed about functional units, a brief discussion about the functional units. And we have discussed about the information that was handled by the computer, isn't it or not? Yes? So what is the basic information that was handled by the computer? Computer will be handling either the instructions or data. So coming to the instructions, what are the instructions? What do the instructions will do actually? So instructions will transfer the information within the computer or between the computer and IO devices. That is the main function of the instruction. And what is the other function of the instructions? So they'll specify arithmetic and logic operands to be performed. So we have discussed about what is meant by program. So what is meant by program? It is nothing but a list of instructions that perform a task is called program. So also we have discussed that the program will be stored in a memory. Once the program is stored in the memory, if we want to execute the program, the processor will fetch the instructions from the program which was stored in the memory, and it will execute or perform the operation one by one. Okay, so during this execution, generally the computer will be controlled by the stored program or whatever the program that you are executing. So this is about the instructions and program. Coming to the data, so data might be numbers or, as I have told you, binary code. So data is data means which was used by the instructions. They are used as operands by the instructions. Okay, and not only that, whatever the data, as your system is what do you say, it's a digitalized computer, whatever the data that you input into the computer, so that data will be converted into the binary code 0 and 1, which we call it as binary coded decimals. Okay, so this is about the information that was handled by the computer. So shall we go to the next topic?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, right. So here on the screen, you can see memory unit. Before going into the memory unit, excuse me. So before going into the memory unit, actually, now what we are going to discuss is, we are going to discuss in detail the functional units of the computer. So what are the functional units of the computer? As we already know that, so this is the functional block diagram of the computer, and here you can see different functional units: input, memory, arithmetic and logic unit, control unit, output, and of course the processor, right? So now we'll be going to discuss individually each and every unit, functional unit of the computer. Now let us start with the input. There you can't see the slide in the slide about input, because this is already known by you. That's why I haven't shown you regarding the input. No, okay. Let us say what is meant by the input device. So what is the input device actually? So your system have to accept the data or have to take the data through the input units only. Isn't it or not? Whatever if you want to give, whatever you want to give, that data is needed to be taken through the input devices. So generally the input device means keyboard. Yes or no? Through the keyboard only you are going to enter the data. or you'll be going to feed the computer. So whenever a key is pressed, so obviously whatever the key, whether it is an alphabet or a number, automatically it will be fed into the computer, and that data will be translated into the binary code. Isn't it or not? So we have many other types of input devices, so which we call it as joysticks. I think you have heard about the joystick. Mouse, you know about mouse, joystick, mouse, keyboard, etc. are the input devices. So that is about the input device. So we can conclude that what is an input unit? Input unit is nothing but the unit which is needed to feed the computer. Whatever the data that we need to give, that will be given through the input unit. The examples of the input unit are nothing but keyboard, joystick, mouse, etc. Right? Now coming to the memory. Right. So what is a memory actually? So memory is nothing but the unit which stores the data, isn't it or not? Whatever the information that you are giving, whatever the data that you are giving, that data will be stored in the memory. So mainly coming to the computer, your memory unit will be classified into two types. So that is primary storage, and the second one is secondary storage. Okay, so mainly your memory unit will be classified into two types. One is primary storage and the other is secondary storage. So first of all, let us discuss about what is this primary storage. So primary storage is nothing but which was inbuilt within the computer itself. It's not an external storage device. Okay. So whatever the processings that will be taken place, that will take place through this primary storage unit. So coming to the features of this primary storage. So I can define, if you want to write, you can write. I can define the primary storage is the fast memory that operate at electronic speeds. Yes. Yes. So what is a primary storage? Actually, the primary storage is inbuilt within the computer itself. So I can define the primary storage as the fast memory that operates at electronic speeds. So this is a memory unit which operates at the fastest electronic speeds. So that is defined as a primary storage. If you want me to repeat, I'll repeat once again. Primary storage is the fast memory that operates at electronic speeds. Now let us come what will happen in the primary storage. Let us discuss about it. Now once, if you write a program, that program must be stored in the memory, right? In order to execute it, first what basic step that you are going to do. General ga manam program రాసేటప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేస్తాం, ముందు ఏం చేస్తాం, మొత్తం ప్రోగ్రామ్ అంతా ఎంటర్ చేసేస్తాం. Isn't it or not? General process ఏంటంటే will be feeding the program, entire program with the help of the instructions. That is nothing but a set of instructions. And after writing the program, you'll be going to save it. So there you'll be giving a name for that program, isn't it? So after the execution of if you want to execute or run the program, you'll recall the name of that program and you'll execute. That is a general process which happens. So here also the same thing. We'll see it in detail. So after writing the program will be stored in the memory while they are being executed. Execute చేసేటప్పుడు ముందు మెమరీలో స్టోర్ అయి ఉంటుంది. So what does this memory consist of actually? What this primary storage memory consists of? How it will be like? So so the primary storage memory consists of, it is nothing but a large number of semiconductor excuse me, a large number of semiconductor storage cells. It's nothing but your memory is nothing but it is it consists of a large number of semiconductor storage cells. So each cell will be capable of storing 1 bit of information. Okay, so your program is stored in the memory. So what does this memory actually consist of? Memory is nothing but number of semiconductor storage cells. Each cell will be storing each bit. Okay, so these actually whatever, if you want to read or write, we will be extracting the information from those storage cells only. So here all this group of cells or all these bits of information will be forming a word. Isn't it or not? ఒక్కొక్క అక్షరం or ఒక నెంబర్ కానీ ఒక ఆల్ఫాబెట్ కానీ ఒక బిట్ అవుతుందండి. Right? So the combination of all these bits will form a word, isn't it? Similarly, ఒక్కొక్క బిట్ ఒక్కొక్క సెల్ లో ఒక్కొక్క బిట్ స్టోర్ అయి ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి ఈ వర్డ్ ఫామ్ అవ్వాలంటే ఈ సెల్స్ అన్ని కూడా what do you say, the combination of all these cells will form a word. So how can I define a word? So the cells are rarely read or written as individual cells, but instead are processed in groups of fixed size are called words. And all the combination of bit with a fixed size is known as a word. If you want to write, you can write. The combination of all the bits with a fixed size is called a word. So finally, we can define the memory as memory is organized so that contents of one word containing n bits can be stored or retrieved in one basic operation. Isn't it? This is what happens, isn't it? So all these words have formed, all these bits have formed a word, right? And we'll be having number of words, and all these words will be stored in the memory, where either we can store the word or we can retrieve the word. Isn't it? Yes or no? Now finally, I can write memory as the memory is organized so that the contents of one word which contain n bits can be stored or retrieved for one basic operation. Is that clear? Respond.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is about the word. Now coming to the next topic in the memory itself. దీంట్లోనే నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్ ఏంటంటే, సరే, what we are doing is we were giving the information and storing it in the memory. Is that sufficient to simply store it in the memory? What should we have to do? For example, you are writing a program for the addition of 2 bits, let us say. See, if you remember, when you write the program, when you are specifying that a plus b is equal to some c, you will be specifying an address location for a, you will be specifying an address location for b, and after getting the addition, that sum should be stored in particular memory, isn't it? You are specifying all the time. That means you are specifying an address location for whatever data that you want to store, isn't it or not? Yes or no? So that is nothing but address location. So just, it is not like storage or memory means you're just not like storing it in the memory. Storing means you have to specify a specific address location in order to access the information that whatever you have stored in the memory. So those address locations might be numbers or alphabets, or what are generally it will be in the numbers, such that they identify the location. So how I can define this is, What is an address is nothing but in order to access any word in the memory, a distinct address location have to be defined. So the word can be accessed by specifying its address location. That means just by giving that address location, whatever the data that was stored at that particular address location, we can retrieve it or we can read that data. So for retrieving it, you have to specify that address location along with some control command. This is a second step which was taken, which takes place while you are storing. So initially we have discussed what is a primary storage memory, right? And what does a memory contains? Memory contains semiconductor storage cells. Each bit will be stored in individual storage cell, and the combination of all these cells with a fixed size will give you a word. Okay, so totally the memory is organized with these words and used for accessing of the word. So while storing the word, what we have to do is we need to specify an address location. So that address location might be a number. So whenever you give the number of that address location along with some control command, we can retrieve the data from the memory. Is it clear? Yes? Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So coming to the next one, next topic in the memory. Next topic is word length. What is meant by word length? Word length is nothing but it depends upon number of bits that it can store, isn't it? Yes or no? So how can I define a word length? The number of bits in each word is referred to as word length. Avuna andi? Antena kada? Yes or no? So the number of bits in each word is referred to as word length. Ante kada, if it is a 4-bit, that will be the length of that word. If it is an 8-bit, that will be the length of the word. If it is a 16-bit, that will be the length of the word. Isn't it or not? So how can you define a word length? The word length is defined as number of bits in each word is referred to as word length. If you want to note, you can note it. Yes? Right. So the capacity of the word length is a main character that which gives you or specifies the capacity of the memory of a system. అంతే కదండి, అది ఎన్ని బిట్స్ అయితే స్టోర్ చేసుకుంటుందో దాన్ని బట్టి నాకు వర్డ్ లెంత్ అని వస్తుంది. వర్డ్ లెంత్ వచ్చిన దాన్ని బట్టే కదా వాట్ ఈస్ ద కెపాసిటీ ఆఫ్ మెమొరీ ఆఫ్ దట్ పర్టికులర్ సిస్టమ్ అనేది డిఫైన్ చేయగలం. సో that was word length is a main characteristic which specifies or which defines the capacity of memory of the computer or the size of the computer, memory size of the computer. So that is about word length. Is that clear? Yes? Right. So we have discussed about what is a memory, what is an address, and what is a word length. Now let us come to the RAM. So before going to the RAM, as we have said, the program will be residing in a memory during the execution. Avunandi? Program is stored in the memory. Isn't it or not? While execution, the entire program will be stored in the memory. So, so in order to retrieve the data, we will be writing some instructions or some control commands to retrieve the program from the memory. Now, so in order to retrieve that, we have to specify, as I have told you, we have to specify the word location. That means we have to specify the address location. So how we can define the RAM is, RAM ante artham enti anante, the memory in which any location can be reached in short and fixed amount of time after specifying its address is called random access memory, RAM. See, in the computer unit we have different types of memories only that we'll be going to discuss in the later sections, right? Among them, what always we used to talk about RAM. What is this RAM? This is inbuilt in the computer itself, isn't it? So what is this RAM? A RAM is a memory where in which any location can be reached in a short and fixed amount of time after specifying a command, after specifying its address is called random access memory. ఏ మెమరీ యూనిట్ నుండి అయితే మనం ఫిక్స్డ్ యూనిట్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్ లో ఒక అడ్రస్ లొకేషన్ స్పెసిఫై చేసిన తర్వాత విత్ ఇన్ నో టైమ్, విత్ ఇన్ వెరీ ఫిక్స్డ్ అమౌంట్ అండ్ షార్ట్ పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ టైం మనం ఆ వర్డ్ ని రిట్రీవ్ చేసుకోగలము, అటువంటి మెమొరీని మనం ర్యామ్ అని అంటాం, ర్యాండమ్ యాక్సెస్ మెమొరీ అని అంటాం. Okay, just write down the definition. Memory in which any location can be reached in a short and fixed amount of time after specifying its address is called RAM. Okay. And we also have the another definition, memory access time. So what is this memory access time? Memory access time, name itself is saying memory access time. That means the time that is required to access a word from the memory is nothing but memory access time. What is that? I'll repeat it once again. Memory access time is nothing but the time that is required to access the word from the memory is nothing but memory access time. తెలుగులో చెప్పుకోవాలంటే ఒక మెమొరీ నుంచి వర్డ్ ని యాక్సెస్ చేయడానికి ఎంత టైం అయితే పడుతుందో దాన్నే మనం మెమొరీ యాక్సెస్ టైం అని అంటాం అన్నమాట. ర్యామ్ అంటే అర్థం ఏంటి? We'll I'll repeat it once again. What is meant by RAM? The memory in which you can retrieve the data within a short and fixed amount of time is nothing but your RAM. And what is memory access time? That is the time that was required to access the word from the memory is memory access time. Okay, next you can see the topic memory hierarchy and antamandi. Okay. So what is this memory hierarchy? So this we're going to discuss in the later units in detail. But now what is actually this memory hierarchy? Memory hierarchy. Hierarchy ante enti? It's a level, isn't it? దేని తర్వాత ఏ మెమొరీ నుంచి ఏ మెమొరీలోకి వస్తుంది, ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎక్కడికి వస్తుంది, దేని నుంచి దేన్ని రిట్రీవ్ చేస్తాము అనేది మెమొరీ హైరార్కీ. సో ఐ కెన్ డిఫైన్ ద మెమొరీ హైరార్కీ యాజ్ this is the memory of a computer of 3 or 4 levels of semiconductor RAM units with different speeds and sizes. So the memory hierarchy also consists of RAMs only. But what is this? These RAMs will be of different sizes and different speeds. So which are organized in 3 or 4 levels with different sizes and different. అంటే ఒక్కొక్కసారి ఒక్కొక్క టైప్ ఆఫ్ మెమరీ యూనిట్ మనం యూజ్ చేసుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుందండి. ఆల్వేస్ we can't use the same one. So memory hierarchy means 3 or 4 different levels of RAM with different speeds and sizes. That is meant by memory hierarchy. అందులోదే క్యాషీ యూనిట్ అనేది చిన్న పార్ట్ అన్నమాట. ర్యామ్ లోనే క్యాషీ యూనిట్ అనేది ఒక బఫర్ లాగా యాక్ట్ చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది. దిస్ ఈస్ ద స్మాలెస్ట్ అండ్ ఫాస్ట్ ర్యామ్ యూనిట్. సో ద స్మాలెస్ట్ అండ్ ఫాస్ట్ ర్యామ్ యూనిట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ క్యాషీ. కరెక్ట్ గా చెప్పాలంటే ఈ క్యాషీ యూనిట్ అనేది మనం బఫర్ కింద యూజ్ చేసుకుంటాం. అంటే ఇమీడియట్ గా యూజ్ చేసుకునే కాకుండా మధ్యలో ఎక్కడైనా యూజ్ చేసుకునే మెయిన్ మెమొరీలో స్టోర్ చేయకుండా ఏం చేస్తాం అంటే బఫర్ కింద దాంట్లో పెడతాం అనమాట, క్యాచ్ యూనిట్ లో పెడతాం. అదేంటంటే మధ్యలో ప్రోగ్రామ్ మధ్యలో కానీ ఎప్పుడైనా మనకు కావాల్సినప్పుడు క్యాష్ యూనిట్ నుంచి రిట్రీవ్ చేసుకుంటాం. దిస్ విల్ డిస్కస్ ఇన్ ద లేటర్ ఆన్ క్లాసెస్. బట్ నౌ బ్రీఫ్లీ హౌ వాట్ ఐ కెన్ సే ఈస్ memory hierarchy is nothing but 3 or 4 levels of semiconductor RAM units with different sizes and speeds. And what is a cache unit? In this, what is meant by the cache unit is a small RAM unit. Fastest small RAM unit is nothing but cache unit, right? So you know all these are coupled within the computer itself. Remember one thing, primary storage is everything nothing but which is inbuilt within the system itself. Whether it is primary storage, whether it is RAM, or whether it is memory hierarchy, whether it is cache. So among them only we have main memory. RAM lagane main memory. So RAM is a different memory unit. Among them, this memory hierarchy is subdivisions of RAM. Cache is a small unit which is a part of RAM. What is this main memory? Main memory is completely different from that of RAM. So main memory is the largest and slowest unit. So each memory unit will be having its own specification. Specifications ఏంటనేది మనకి ముందు ముందు వెళ్తూ ఉండగా తెలుస్తుందండి. So main memory is also a part of memory unit in the computer, whereas RAM and cache units are fastest and speed one. Main memory is the largest. ఇవేంటంటే స్మాల్ యూనిట్స్ అండి. స్మాల్ మెమరీ యూనిట్స్ ఫాస్ట్ గా ఉంటుంది యాక్సెసిబిలిటీ. మెయిన్ మెమరీ వచ్చేటప్పటికి విల్ బి హ్యావింగ్ these main memories are largest and slowest memory unit in the computer. So these RAM, memory hierarchy, cache and main memory are different memory units or memories that we are using in the computer, in the system, which are inbuilt. Okay, so this is about primary storage. So in the primary storage, initially we have discussed about what is meant by a primary storage. So it's a fast memory that operates at electronic speeds. We have defined it as a fast memory that operates at electronic speeds. So we have discussed that the program have been stored in the memory. And what is meant by memory? Memory is nothing but which contains large semiconductor cells. In each individual semiconductor cell, one bit will be stored. And what is meant by a word? Combination of all these bits will give you a word. With a fixed size, it will give you a word, isn't it? So after forming a word, how we are going to access from the memory? If you want to access a word from the memory, we need to specify an address location for each word. So that addresses will be specified in a form of numbers. With the help of those address location and with the help of the control command, we can access the word which was stored in the memory. And next topic is word length. Word length is nothing but number of words in bits in each word is nothing but word length. So this word length will specify you what is the size, memory size of your individual computer. Next, coming to the internal memory units which primary storage consists of. So it consists of a RAM. So RAM is nothing but the fastest, it's a memory unit, it's the fastest memory unit where in order to retrieve a word, it takes very short and fixed amount of time. That is meant by RAM. Memory access time is the time required for the word to access from the memory. Memory hierarchy is nothing but different, 3 or 4 different levels of RAM with different speeds and sizes. Cache is also a part of RAM, but it is the shortest, smallest memory unit and fastest memory unit, which is a part of the RAM. And what is the main memory? It's not a part of the RAM, it's a part of the entire system, which is the largest and slowest memory unit is nothing but we call it as main memory. So this is about the primary storage. Coming to the secondary storage. So what is the difference between why we call it as primary and secondary storage is primary storage is inbuilt in the system, whereas secondary storage devices are nothing but that whatever we are using externally. So those are just like our CDs, pen drives. Previously, we used to make the use of floppy disk. Nowadays, we don't have a floppy disk. So generally, nowadays we were using CDs or pen drives, etc. These are the external devices, because all the information can't be stored in the memory itself. I mean, in the system memory itself, because you cannot handle all the all the data. So then we'll be going for the secondary storage. The secondary storage is nothing but the external device, right? So obviously the మనకి different sizes ఉంటాయండి. పెన్ డ్రైవ్ లో different sizes ఉంటాయి, like 8 GB 16 GB అని ఉంటాయి కదా, right? అలాగే CD కూడా different capacity of external devices are there, such that not only we can use it in the for different purposes. So secondary storage is defined as an external storage device, where the examples comes here are CDs, magnetic disks, pen drives, etc. So this is about memory. This is about memory unit. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So we go to the next topic. Yeah. So the next topic is arithmetic and logic unit. So the next unit in the computer, as I can say, it is the next unit in the computer. So what is this arithmetic and logic unit? Name itself is specifying you. Arithmetic and logic unit means whatever the operations, most of the operations, whether it is arithmetic or logic operation, most of the operations will be the operated by or executed by the ALU of the processor, isn't it? So this is the main heart of the I can say the heart of the computer. So the most computer operations are executed in arithmetic and logic unit of the processor. So as I have told you, what is the main, I mean, for example, let us say if you are writing a program for addition, right? So what you are going to write, you will be specifying that the addition is a plus b equals to some sum. So while writing the program, you will specify the name a, and you will specify the address location for that a. Similarly, you will define a word, number b, and you will also specify some address location to the b. Etla ante int ఏ కామా అని ఒక అడ్రస్ లొకేషన్ ఇస్తారు జనరల్ గా కొన్ని ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ లో, కొన్ని సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఫార్మాట్స్ లో. అవునా కాదండి? ఎస్ ఎస్
Yes, ma'am.
కెన్ యూ లిసన్ మీ?
Yes, ma'am.
అంతే కదండి. జనరల్ ఫార్మాట్ లో రాసేటప్పుడు ముందు ఐఎన్టి ఏ కామా అనేది ఒక అడ్రస్ లొకేషన్, అలాగే ఐఎన్టి బి అంటే సెకండ్ నంబర్, కామా దాని అడ్రస్ లొకేషన్. సో సమ్ అంటే ఏంటి? సి ఈక్వల్స్ టు ఏ ప్లస్ బి, రైట్? అగైన్ ఆ సీన్ తీసుకెళ్ళి ఇంకొక చోట ఎక్కడో స్టోర్ చేస్తాం, isn't it? So the same thing happens in the ALU. So what I can say is, so if two numbers located in a memory have to be added, so initially what operation that will take place? Initially they will be brought to the processor, and mundu aa rendu numbers ni process chestamu, and the actual addition is performed by the ALU. Again, whatever the result was there, that result will be stored back in the processor. If we want to again use it, we'll be retaining it back. దాన్ని మళ్ళీ వెనక్కి తీసుకుంటాం. అంతేగాని ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాసేటప్పుడు లాజిక్ అదే కదా, రెండు నెంబర్స్ యాడ్ చేయాలి. రెండు నెంబర్స్ యాడ్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఆ రెండు నెంబర్స్ యొక్క సమ్ తీసుకొచ్చేసి విల్ బి what do you say, like storing that result in some other address location so that it can be used. So this is the actual thing, or this is the actual operation which happens in the ALU. So any other, so we can perform all multiplication, division, those are the arithmetic operation. Logical operations means comparisons, etc. All these come under the logical operations, right? So here, what happens is, so whether it is an arithmetic or logic operations, these arithmetic or logic operations will be initiated by bringing the required operands into the processor where the operation is performed by the ALU. That means ఏ ఆపరేషన్ జరపాలన్నా కూడా ఫస్ట్ ఆ ఆపరెంట్స్ ని ప్రాసెసర్ నుంచి మనం ఇనిషియేట్ చేసుకుంటామండి. సో వేర్ దీస్ ఆపరెంట్స్ ఆర్ యాక్చువల్లీ స్టోర్డ్, దీస్ ఆపరెంట్స్ ఆర్ యాక్చువల్లీ స్టోర్డ్ ఇన్ హై స్పీడ్ స్టోరేజ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ విచ్ వి కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ రిజిస్టర్. సో వాట్ ఆర్ దీస్ రిజిస్టర్స్? రిజిస్టర్స్ అంటే అర్థం ఏంటండి, మనం ఏ అర్థమెటిక్ కానీ లాజిక్ ఆపరేషన్ కానీ పర్ఫామ్ చేయాలంటే వాటి ఆపరెంట్స్ ని ముందు మనం ప్రాసెసర్ నుంచి ఇనిషియేట్ చేసుకోవాలి. అంటే ఆ ఆపరెంట్స్ ఎక్కడ స్టోర్ అయి ఉంటాయండి? దోస్ ఆపరెంట్స్ వర్ స్టోర్డ్ ఇన్ ద హై స్పీడ్ స్టోరేజ్ ఎలిమెంట్స్ కాల్డ్ రిజిస్టర్. సో ఈచ్ రిజిస్టర్ కెన్ స్టోర్ 1 word ఆఫ్ డేటా అండి, right? So your RAM and cache units are a bit different from that of your registers. Here particularly in the registers, what we have is registers will be consisting of the operands which initiate the arithmetic and logic operations. So these are registers are high speed storage elements and each register will be consisting of 1 word of data. So generally these access time for these registers are very fast when compared to that of even a cache unit in the మెమరీ హైరార్కీ. క్యాష్ యూనిటే చాలా ఫాస్ట్ గా ఉంటుందండి. ర్యామ్ ఫాస్ట్ అండి, ర్యామ్ లో ఉండే స్మాల్ పార్టే క్యాష్ యూనిట్. క్యాష్ యూనిటే అండ్ మెమరీ హైరార్కీలో ఫాస్టెస్ట్ మెమరీ డివైస్, దానికంటే ఫాస్ట్ గా ఉంటుందండి రిజిస్టర్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ నాట్, రిజిస్టర్స్ ఆర్ నాట్ అ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ మెయిన్ మెమరీ. ఇట్స్ అ డిఫరెంట్ స్టోరేజ్ డివైస్ ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ విచ్ వర్ అగైన్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ computer itself. So what these registers will be handling is operands of all the arithmetic and logic operations, right? So actually all among the whole ga manam system mottam teeskunte control and arithmetic logic units are the fastest units which were connected to the computer system. Migilina ఇన్పుట్ అవుట్పుట్ డివైసెస్ తో కానీ మెమొరీతో కానీ కంపేర్ చేసుకుంటే ఏఎల్యు కంట్రోల్ యూనిట్ ఈ రెండు కూడా కంప్యూటర్ లో ఫాస్టెస్ట్ డివైసెస్ అండి. ఓకే, సో అగైన్ ఫర్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ ఇట్ విల్ బి గివింగ్ ఇట్ త్రూ ద కీబోర్డ్స్ ఆర్ వీ కెన్ యూజ్. అంటే ఏఎల్యు ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ని ప్రాసెస్ చేసుకోవాలంటే త్రూ కీబోర్డ్ ఇవ్వచ్చు, త్రూ ఎక్స్టర్నల్ డివైసెస్ ఇవ్వచ్చు, త్రూ ప్రైమరీ స్టోరేజ్ డివైసెస్ ఇవ్వచ్చు. So this is about arithmetic and logic unit. So arithmetic and logic unit is nothing but a unit where the computer operations, almost all the computer operations are executed. So generally what an ALU will be doing is, if you want to perform addition between the two numbers, that such type of operations will be carried out by the arithmetic and logic unit. So arithmetic and logic unit can perform arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, division, and logical operations like comparison, etc. Any logical operations. So in order to initiate the operation of this arithmetic and logic unit, the operands have to be initiated. Those operands are stored in the registers. Registers are high speed storage elements and each register can store 1 word of data. So this is, registers are the fastest memory accessing devices when compared to that of the fastest cache unit. And overall your arithmetic, logic and control units are the fastest units among the computer when compared to that of all the other devices. So this is about ALU. And coming to the next one, next is control unit. Before that control unit, we have an output unit also. We'll discuss about control unit later. So let us see about, first of all, about output unit, because the time is running out. We have only 3 minutes time. So I just want to conclude with the output unit. So what are the output units? So after giving the input, that input will be stored in the memory and it is processed in the arithmetic logic and control unit of the processor. Finally, your result have to be sent to the outside world. So you will be sending it to the outside world generally through the, what do you say, printers. Okay, the main example here, the output device is printers. Who is that? Who is that? Sairam, are you listening? Sairam. Sairam. Most of the people are not listening, I think. Fine. So what are the output devices or output units? Output device is nothing but after the processing. So whatever the output has to be sent to the outside world, that will be displayed on their printer. So the main output device generally what we use is your printer. Of course, you can view it on the monitor also, but the printer is the main output device. Okay, so depending upon the type of printer, you will be getting the output speed of the printer. You will be getting the output in the same speed only. So this is about the output unit. So today we have discussed about input unit, memory unit, arithmetic and logic unit, and output unit. And there is another important unit is there, control unit. So that we'll discuss in the next class. Hope the class is clear to you, everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to the class, right? So if you don't listen, ఇండివిజువల్గా మీరు టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ ఓపెన్ చేసి చదువుకోవడానికి చాలా టైం పడుతుందండి, because this is a theory subject and it's a foreign author. It takes a little bit of time if you don't listen. This is for your benefit. So hope you'll maintain your discipline and you behave yourself, right? You're good students. So I can expect from you, isn't it or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So that's it for today. Hope you have understood the class. If you have any doubts, you can express it in the next class, or you can ping to me. So that's it. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.